Ladies and gentlemen,
it's the Backyard MECCA Show.
Backyard MECCA Show. MECCA Show.
We speak that realness.
Ladies and gentlemen, my Interwebliens, welcome back to the second episode of the Backyard MECCA Show podcast. Welcome back, and thank you for coming back. We really hope you enjoyed yourself last time, and we're going to keep it rocking. I'm here today with my co-host, Calamari Dave. What up, Dave?
What's up, guys? How y'all doing today?
Chilling, man. So, X is our other co-host, but he couldn't make it today. He has a lot of stuff to take care of, you know what I'm saying, taking care of business, so he won't be here today, but you know, he'll be back definitely. But peace to X, man. We'll talk to you soon, brother. So Dave, man, what's going on, man? How's your weekend, bro?
My weekend was good, man. Productive with the family, you know.
Yeah, man. Yo, listen, man, we got a lot of good feedback, a lot of good reviews from the first show, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy the way it went. You know, we were all over the place last time because we were just trying to give people snippets of shit, what we're gonna do and all that. But I think they get the picture. You know what I'm saying? And yo, like I said, man, I'm happy. A lot of good feedback. We got the social media. Real quick, it's the Backyard MECCA Show. Our social media is our website is backyardmeccashow.com. You could go on SoundCloud and search the Backyard MECCA Show. We are now on YouTube, and we are also now on iTunes, which I'm happy to announce. YouTube, just search the Backyard MECCA Show podcast. iTunes, just search as well the Backyard MECCA Show podcast. And let me see, we're on Podomatic. You can search the Backyard MECCA Show. And like I said, SoundCloud. We'll be updating other platforms as well, so we'll be letting y'all know about that. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we have our special guest today. He's one of my good brothers, man, a good friend of mine. Not only that, man, he's an incredible DJ. I've known him for 10 years now. I met him in 2008 on the dot. So it is 10 years now. This brother right here is one of the most talented DJs that I have seen, man. And it's an honor to have him here. And I'd just like to introduce him. Everybody say peace to DJ STUDDERZ. What up, STUDDERZ?
What's going on, man? What's going on? David, thank you for that intro. Wow.
Yo, man.
Jesus
You
Christ.
know I love you, brother. You know I love you, man. But, yo,
hey, man.
Welcome to the show, man.
Hey, man, congratulations on the show, man.
Thank you, bro.
I'm honored to be the first official guest.
Yo, you have to be, man. You have to be because, man, you're part of the reason I'm doing this. Like, you know, you started doing your show. Yeah. And, you know, I got a lot of tips from you.
You're fucking killing it, bro. You're 2 episodes in and you're fucking light years beyond what I'm doing already.
Nah, man, we're all at our own pace, bro. You know, but
but yo, man, congratulations, man. This is a real dope, man. This is a real dope thing you got going on over here, man.
Thank you, man. And again, man, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even be doing this, man. You always help me and you give me the insights on shit, and you always help me out when it comes to audio. A lot of people, I just want to let people know, man. You know, like we mentioned before, I have the clothing company named SELFMATHEMATIKS Clothing brand, and what I do is I make a lot of mixtapes, CD mixtapes for the people, you know, because I appreciate the people supporting the brand. So, you know, when people buy something, they get a free mixtape with some dope-ass hip-hop, some real hip-hop shit. And the person who helps me put them together is none other than DJ STUDDERZ, man. So he's a genius behind all that shit, man. And, of course, let me shout out DJ Dice, who's also helped me out, you know what I'm saying? And also Alien Sweet Lou, who helps me with the engineering, man.
Yeah.
That shit is amazing, man. And real quick, man, I want to also shout out our video guy, man. He's real talented, man. Akil Upala, and his company is Akil Upala Creative. The brother's real talented, man. So thank you also, Akil. But without further ado, man, STUDDERZ, man. So what got you into DJing, bro?
What got me into DJing? Well, I got into DJing originally by a show on BET that used to show on. Well, they would show it every day. It was called Planet Groove. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember that.
So on Fridays they had like in the studio they would have like a live like party thing, And there was just I would watch it every day, and then there was just one episode. There was just for some reason I saw the guy behind controlling it, doing like the DJing and stuff. And I mean, that guy happened to be Tony Touch. So that's my original inspiration. Like he's my original. He's the original reason why I started DJing. And then like for some reason I was in between 11 and 13, like in between one of those three. I can't specifically remember, but it was just something that I've always till before that I always saw DJs. I knew what a DJ was, but I never, for some reason, just that moment it just like locked into me, and then I just kind of took the initiative to just keep on learning and do everything from there until present day.
That's dope, man. Look how far you've gone, man. Like,
yeah, man. And so then from there, just basics. You know what I'm saying? Got the equipment, put in the hours. You know, in the room, in the basement, practicing. Dope. And then eventually got into the nightclub scene, and then yeah, man, and then shit just started rolling. And
dope, man. Well, you're moving a little quick, man. I want to go back a little bit to like when you first started.
Okay. I was giving you thing is, look, man, I'm a long-winded motherfucker, so I could explain piece by piece. Not playing.
Nah, good. Let's do that, man. The people got to know, man.
The people
man. Got to know.
Definitely.
Again, like my Interwebliens out there, like I mentioned earlier, man, this brother right here, and I'm not just saying it because it's my people's. We met through the nightlife industry.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I also am a professional photographer, man, and so I started doing the nightclub scene, and we actually worked together for about 4 years.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? And so I'm not just saying it because I know him and he is now a friend of mine. You know what I mean? He actually has skills, man. This kid is nasty on the ones and twos and just all the club shit. I know that, you know, the history. He taught a lot of the DJs that are out there now, helped them out, and, you know, he's had a lot of his hands in there, which is dope.
A lot of the younger DJs coming up from Connecticut, not a lot of them, but there's a good little handful that I've, you know, guided.
At least 2 handfuls.
I'm helping guiding them, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, definitely, bro. And I just think that's dope, man, that you know, it's hip hop, you know what I mean? You actually started listening to was it hip hop music?
Yes, hip hop music has been with me since, I'll never forget it, since I was like 10 years old. Like
dope.
That we've spoke about it. It's just like that was our music.
Yeah.
Like that was the music that's
the intro to everything, man.
Yeah, it was just like that was our music at that time. I'm 32, by the way, so at that time that was just the music I related to. You know what I'm saying? Rock and roll has already been, rock and roll's always been out. It was always a thing, but it was just like, even at that time, hip hop was still something. It already had some years into it, but it was still something new. And
yes,
it's just the music that spoke to me. So like that hip hop was a big part. And I mean, it plays so much into the DJing, and then I got very heavy when I got into DJing. I quickly realized what was going on in the radio was very different what was going on in the quote-unquote underground scene. And then I got put onto that, and then that's when I really started learning the fundamentals of hip-hop.
Yeah.
And I got really into, you know, I had my little backpack phase, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, I got into the culture of DJing very early in my DJ career. I got very into the culture and the 4 elements and just knowing everything and staying away from like the commercial stuff at first.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the stuff that originally got me in. But then once you start learning about all the other things that go behind the scenes and the dopeness, which is called, you know, the underground scene, that's, you know, that really opened my eyes to a lot more.
That's dope, man.
And I got into influence for a lot more things in that area.
Dope, man. So like who was your basically your DJ hero, man? The dude that you looked up to, the dude that really like you like, yo, I want to be like this cat, or kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Who was that dude, man?
All right, so I got like 50. But I will say, so my original inspiration, like I just said, was Tony Touch. I hold him the highest grail. Even though he's an amazing DJ. I don't take anything away from him. But compared to a lot of other DJs that I'm influenced, technical wise, I'm just like, I hold him high no matter what. So that's my original inspiration.
Okay.
Some of my inspirations that came after that were people that I was hearing like on the radio, like DJ Enough really inspired me a lot. And then mixtape wise, I started listening to a lot of DJs like DJ Precise and DJ Craig G, like in their early mixtape games, and like the DJ SNSs and all that stuff, and that kind of really influenced me in that way. And then but then I started really discovering, when I discovered the underground scene, people like DJ Craze at that time, which was very underground in the turntable scene. DJ Craze, DJ Qbert, Mixmaster Mike.
Yeah.
And people like, and Mixmaster Mike,
he's a beast, yo.
Yeah, man.
That dude's incredible, man.
Incredible, man.
Oh man, yo, real quick, not to interrupt you, Studders, but man, out there, if y'all really want to see a DJ in his element, man, YouTube Mixmaster Mike and watch that brother go to work, man.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. He has a few dope clips up on YouTube. And then, but I think, to be really honest, my main influence that combines all the elements of DJing together is DJ Jazzy Jeff. To me, that guy, he's God.
Yeah, he's a pioneer too, man.
He's God. But I think I know so much about the culture, and I know so much about the history that I could name 50,000 people that do influence me. You know what I'm saying? Because I like to give it up to pioneers and to veterans, and so I mean, you know, I'm influenced by everybody. You know what I'm saying? But to me, I think overall the big one is DJ Jazzy Jeff, because to me, he's like a combination of all the parts of DJing, and he does them to a T. Yeah. Technical, party rocking, all that stuff. So it's like he has it all combined in one.
He's a technician, man.
Yeah, man, definitely.
So you said you started when you were about 13, 14, was it?
Well, I got influenced when I was about in between, I think it was in between 11 or 12. I got influenced. Then I got my equipment at 15 years old. So that time from 12 to 15, it was like, that's when I did a whole bunch of research. I did a whole bunch of research, went to magazines and movies and documentaries. And this is light years before the internet. So it's like I had to go out and look for that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, but then, so 15 is when I say I became a DJ, because that's when I got my equipment.
That's dope. So when was your first gig? Like, did you do a house party? Did you do like a Sweet 16, quinceañera?
Yeah, I have a very opposite. When it comes to that stuff, I have a very backwards story, because most DJs have the story of doing house parties, and like you said, they do the little private parties, and then it kind of leads into the club. I went from my basement to the club, so I had to learn a lot about the club by making mistakes in the club. But prior to the club, I had like one or two parties. There was a girl that I was going out with at the time. She got me like a house party, and like I said, I was very into scratching and all this stuff, and I went there, started doing that shit, and they're like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? They're like, we want to dance, we want to party, bro. So, and then I thought they were wrong, because I was like, no, I know what I'm doing is dope. Yeah. So, but it was, yeah. So then, and then I got an opportunity to do. I started as I was for a little while. I was a DJ for a local hip hop group in Stanford. Shout out to FEP. Far East Productions, and I was their DJ, and I did a few shows with them, and then it so happened to be that there was a girl that was at a show that I was just playing music before the show, not even like getting people hyped. I was just playing music, just songs that were hot at that time. Yeah, and she saw that, and she happened to be a promoter for a teen night, and at the same time, a friend of mine, shout out to Victor, he was telling his brother, who was a promoter, that he has a friend that he's a DJ, and that happened to be Richie Rich. And so it's like a combination of both worlds. Like the girl was coming at him saying, "Yo, I found this DJ. He's really good. Can we put him down for a teen night?" And then his brother was in his ear, "Yo, my boy's a DJ." Yeah.
It came full circle, man.
It came, and then he gave me a shot, and he put me in a room. And this was a Club More in Stanford.
Yeah.
He put me in the upstairs room for a teen night, and then the rest is history.
You remember how old you were and what year that was?
Yes, I was. This was July of 05.
Okay.
July of 05.
Dope,
So that's, yeah, I'm never going to forget that.
Yeah, so
because
13 years now, basically.
Yeah, man. I've been 13 years in clubs.
In clubs.
Yeah, exactly. Like I do that. I say I've been DJing for 17 years, and I've been in clubs for like 13 years, because I use those I use those two. I separate those two, because the years I wasn't in club, is like I was doing so much other stuff that when I did get to the club, it was a whole nother experience.
Okay. That's dope, man.
Man.
That trail speaks a lot, man. There's a lot of history in that.
Oh yeah, man. And
trail,
trust
man.
me, like I said, man, I literally went from my basement to the club, and then I did good, but it was a rough because I had no party rocking experience.
Yeah.
But I had Richie Rich, which at the time he's a host. He guided me very, very quickly, and I was able to pick up on things quickly because of those 4 years that I had. I was very good technically. So technical, I was fine. Technically in mixing, I was fine. So that helped. That's why I was able to pick up so quick on certain things. You know what I'm saying?
Dope, man.
But I still made my mistakes. But
Nah, of course,
that only made me better.
Yeah, that's how it is, man. We practice makes perfect, like they say, man. And, quick shout out to Vic, man, and shout out to Richie Rich, man. Richie Rich is a friend of mine. Also, I actually worked under him also with the photography.
That's how we met.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how we met. And Richie Rich has been in the game for a while now, as far as the clubs, man. And in all honesty, man, he's a legendary promoter out here, man. He's gonna go down in the books, man.
Oh, definitely, man.
He's done it longer than a lot of cats out here, and he's done it harder than a lot of cats out here.
Man.
You know what I mean? So,
yeah, man.
Big shout out to Rich, man.
Definitely.
So, take me down the line, man. You're in the clubs now. What's the first gig that you did that you basically opened up for an artist? Because even though you're a club and a DJ, you're opening up for the artist. You're working alongside an artist. Who is the first artist that you opened up for? Wow,
I wish you would have asked me this before. Now, if I can remember correctly, I think it was a reggaeton group by the name of Treble Clan.
Okay, and aren't they local?
No. They were big at the time. They were big in the reggaeton scene. I eventually got to open up for a lot of reggaeton artists and artists in general. But I think that was the first one, to be really honest. I think that was the first one. It wasn't anything. At that time, they were huge in the reggaeton scene.
Dave, you know them? I know you like the reggaeton. So
Yeah.
You heard of them?
Yeah, they're old school. They're throwback.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah.
What about so? Let's say someone. I'm not saying they're not well known, but someone that the people out in the audience might really know. Back then, in the early days.
I don't know about the early days. The early days there was
the earliest person that you could remember that was a pretty big star or is now. Or
you're gonna have to give me a second.
Nah, I know so many.
No. Okay, maybe not the earliest. Maybe not the early days, but a big moment for me was to be part of the Daddy Yankee show for Richie Rich's birthday.
Oh yeah.
That I would have.
Me too.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the biggest artist I've ever
exactly.
worked
So
with, you know what I mean?
To me, that has to be I mean, because it wasn't like it was the Daddy Yankee you see now. It was years ago, but Daddy Yankee's still Daddy Yankee. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was a very popular Daddy Yankee, and he at that time, Daddy Yankee doesn't really do too many clubs.
No.
So that was pretty dope. That has to stick out to me, and obviously there's a trail of when it comes to the reggaeton scene. I've been a part of a lot of dope shows.
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to be part of a lot of dope shows, but I've also been able to open up and meet a lot of my people I look up to in the DJ world, which is also dope. Like I got a chance to meet Tony Touch.
Dope. I
got a chance to open up for him in New Haven.
That's dope, man.
So that was a very like, I'm like, oh shit, this is the guy. And up to then, like I was like, this is the guy that like inspired me. And I think I think I got a little bit of not annoying, but I was like over his shoulder a little too much. He was like, yo, you good? He's like, yo, man, go have a drink, enjoy your night. It's funny because now I know that feeling.
Yo, when you saw him at first, did you see like an aura around him?
Oh,
and shit? Like,
man. Yo, man, I do, bro. Yo, man, I get made fun of, man. I get made fun of by my friends, man, because like, hey, man, I like to, you know what? You know what it is with me? I like to really let people know if they've affected me, if like I'm saying, like if you've inspired me, or if I like you as an artist, or as a whatever, like I like to let you know, man. And I'm not afraid to like show that side. Be like, yo, my nigga, like to me, you're this guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. Some people are too cool for that. You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely. I agree, man. I don't see nothing wrong with that, man. I've done it myself.
Yeah, like you gotta give. I want them to know that. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's dope, man. That's dope. The Daddy Yankee show was definitely a big one for me in the book, as far as a photographer and club photographer and shooting artists. That was definitely the biggest artist and accomplishment that as far as my club photography days. Man, that shit was dope, man. That shit was dope. And again, shout out to Richie Rich. Shout out to Sin City. You know what I'm saying? Because that night was crazy. That shit got
man.
packed
Sin City
out.
was legendary.
Listen,
bro.
Sin City is not an easy. Well, Sin City, it's no longer there, but Sin City was not an easy club to pack out all the time, man.
Because it was huge.
And we did it, man. Especially with shows like Daddy Yankee and
Tony Dice,
Yomo, and you know what I'm saying. Oof. Yeah, we killed it. Jolie Randy.
Yeah, man.
Bro, so many, man.
The list goes on.
Oh, man, it's amazing, bro.
Actually, if you remember, there was a night that we went on a Thursday for Nas. Remember that?
Yeah.
It was just, we were just chilling. Yeah. And we were able to be on stage with Nas. It was crazy, bro.
Yeah. Yo, it's the perks. It's the perks of like working in certain area. Like, yo,
man.
Security, you good. Yo, the owner. What up, Jim?
That was another, like, inside. I was geeking out because I'm like, yo, man, Nas is right. Yeah. I'm behind. Like, we were behind the stage and the DJ booth, but it was just like, yo, Nas is like a few feet away from us.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. And Nas is my favorite MC.
Exactly.
So for me, that was
exactly.
That was your Tony Touch. You know what I'm saying?
You took a piece of record, right? Remember? You brought a piece of record with you.
Yeah. I
don't think we brought it in the club because
I didn't. I didn't want to seem too like what I'm saying.
No. If you remember correctly, there was like a lot of like for us getting in the club.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
And you're like, yo, I'm not even gonna bother.
Yeah, because it was a little tight at first, because they had the big line and security was all over. So
and we were able to skip that.
Yeah, they eventually we waited a good 10 minutes or so. And then they were finally like, all right, I guess it calmed down enough. But I remember that. Yeah, I was gonna try to get that signature, bro.
Yeah, man, that was dope though. That was dope. That was dope.
Yeah. I remember that, bro. That shit was amazing, man.
That was dope, man.
So,
what's up?
Real quick, man, because I know the people want to know.
What up?
DJ STUDDERZ, the name, DJ STUDDERZ.
Yes.
What, when, why? When did you start with that name? How did you start with that name?
All right.
And yeah.
The name comes because I have a legit stuttering problem. I don't stutter as much as I used to when I was younger, but when I was younger, it was a legit problem. And I think around the same time that I got inspired to be a DJ, I said, what better name than DJ STUDDERZ?
Yeah. Yo,
it goes along with the DJing.
Bro, to be honest, that shit's pretty brilliant, man.
Yeah, man. And it was also kind of, and I just started telling people, yo, STUDDERZ has been a name that people have been calling me since I was like 14 years old, because I was telling people to call me that. It was also kind of a defense mechanism, like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You ain't gonna snap on me, nigga.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
boom.
Like,
I'm gonna say it to myself. What?
Exactly, and not to say like I got made fun, like I got laughed at. I didn't get made like I didn't get like made fun of. It wasn't like a problem where like people were pointing their fingers. I got laughed at.
Yeah,
it's still a shitty feeling no matter what.
Nah, absolutely.
But I learned. I was like, fuck it. It was, you know, it's something that even I remember I caught myself laughing at somebody stuttering. Very young also. I was like, it's funny. You can't. So I was just like, and what better name than the DJ STUDDERZ? It goes with the whole thing. So
but that's what I'm saying. Like I think that shit is brilliant, and it's brilliant because it's not a gimmick. It's who you are. Like a lot of these other motherfuckers, and it's cool. They create a persona or their name. Or, you know, they got to think of it. Like you just literally basically were like, yo, I'm me, and this is it. This is it. DJ STUDDERZ. That's dope, bro. That's dope. That's dope.
And like I mean, everybody knows me as STUDDERZ.
Yeah.
Like
That's dope, man.
Yeah, man.
Well, real quick, man. Shout out real quick. Let the people know how they can find you, man. What's your social media, your contacts, all that?
Everything is under everything is under at DJ STUDDERZ CT, and yeah, that's everything. That's my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all that cool, fun young stuff that these youngsters are doing nowadays. Not playing.
What about the podcast?
Yes,
podcast.
I am the host of my own podcast. It's called the Spinners Digest Podcast, and you can follow that podcast at TSD_podcast on Instagram and on Twitter, and yeah, and you can listen to it on SoundCloud. You could type in the Spinners Digest Podcast, and it'll pop up, and you could email. The email is thespinnersdigest@gmail.com, and that's I have my own podcast that kind of do this. It's an audio podcast that, you know, I bring on DJs and I bring on people in the nightlife. You were already on one of the episodes.
Yeah, man.
You're on one of the episodes, and I bring in. It's mostly to just tell people stories, man. You know what I'm saying? Get these stories out there. I feel there's a lot of underdogs that don't have their stories out there.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's just a platform, and it's just a platform for me to talk my shit every once in a while.
That's dope. And what we're gonna do is
we gotta do like a merger one day.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
We got to do like
we'll definitely do that.
Definitely do that. Further down the line, you know. Get a few episodes like in, and we got to do like, you know, like get a nice little panel.
Absolutely. And what I'm gonna do too is you know, on all the information on like the YouTube and SoundCloud, I'm gonna have all your social media there, so people can reach out to you there. Yeah. And also on, you know, the video that we do, we'll have it pop up when you mention it and all that. So. Because, you know, again, like you said, it's a platform, man. There's a lot of underdogs. I felt the same way. I had announced it last show. You know, there's a lot of people that don't get the shine that they deserve, man. Yeah, and I want to be able to help out as many as I can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and people have, you know, I mean, people have stories to tell. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I mean, you kind of have the same vision on the people you want to bring on. That, you know, you want to get these people. You know, there's a lot of great people out there with a lot of dope stories that, you know, just that aren't out there. Yeah. And it's just like, to me, like, there's DJs in my mind that nobody really knows their story. So it's just like, it blows my mind. I'm like, it should be out there somewhere. Yeah. Somewhere out, it should be out there in the internet. So it's like, absolutely. So it's like, if I could provide that, if that's my service to the world, that's, you know, that's what I want to do. And that's, you know, I agree. And you know, you and me are kind of on the same page on that. Absolutely. On what we want to do with our shows. So yeah, man. Definitely, man.
Well, Dave, you got any questions for STUDDERZ that you want to hit him with?
Yeah. What was like your most exciting, your most epic moment, like your best scene, like that you could talk about all day?
All right. Well, I will say I have many. I can't say I have one. Of course. I have many, because but one moment that kind of stands out for me was back in 2013, where I had the opportunity to go to Florida. And that was my first time ever DJing outside of Connecticut. Very nervous, Nervous, just nervous in the sense I was just like, I hope I do good. Long story short, the reason I went out there was because I'm part of a company, a remix company, where we sell remixes to DJs, LatinRemixes.com. So it was the year anniversary, and the owners are based out of Florida. So like, yo, look, at that time the company had I think like 12, 14 DJs. They're like, yo, look, guys, if you guys, whoever wants to come out here, obviously it has to be on your own dollar. Come out here, but we got the rest. We're gonna have a dinner for you guys. We're gonna have you guys spend all weekend, and we're gonna have us, and we're gonna have one day. I mean, we're gonna be going out partying all these days, but then on Sunday we're gonna have just a big blowout. So whoever could come, you guys pay for your own flight, but we'll take care of everything else as far as stay, whatever, blah, say blah. So Friday, me and like 3 other DJs get there. So obviously the DJ, DJ Soultrix, his residency, he had us all like DJ. It was part of the whole anniversary thing, celebrating Latin remixes. So he puts me on what in the DJ world is called prime time. So that's like the heat of the moment. Mm-hmm. That's like the heat of the party. This is where a DJ gets to play the biggest records, the hot songs. So not to say I was nervous, but I was just like, I just hope I do a good job, because up to this moment, I've never been out to Connecticut.
To Florida.
I've never been outside of Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
Outside of Connecticut that's what I meant to say.
Not even New York. You didn't.
No, man. Not up to that. I no.
Oh, okay.
No. At that moment, no.
Okay.
I did one gig. Me and Richie did one gig in Long Island, but that was just like it was a set. I didn't even really consider that like.
Okay.
It was out of state technically, yes, but but this was bigger because I was by myself. I was by myself. This was the moment that I realized, I was like, yo, like, so I got on the set, and, you know, I got the party jumping. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I got the party jumping. Don't lie, nigga. Let them know. Let them know. I got the party jumping. And then, but what was dope, not to say I wasn't up there in the DJ booth doing like backflips or anything, but it's just, there was a group of Florida DJs that came to show love to us and to Soultrix, and he wanted to, like, everybody wanted to communicate and just meet everybody. And literally I look back and all the DJs, not to say they have their mouth open, but they were like, yo, who is this kid?
Yeah.
They're like, yo, what's going on?
What's up, man?
And it was just a dope feeling, man. And that really, like, that always stands out for me, because that was also when I realized, I was like, I can really, step out of my quote unquote comfort zone,
yep,
out of state, and still be able to rock. And that was it was also a very, like, I felt proud of myself, because I was like, yo, man, like,
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
That shit was dope. I remember that. Weren't we still working together?
Yeah,
I remember when you first started working with them, with the Latin.
And it was just dope. And then out of that, so what really remains is that out of that one night that I got to play, I'll never forget. Soultrix told me, he was like, yo, we're going to start bringing out you guys individually. He was like, you're the first in line. So then I went back after that one opportunity that I paid for my own flight. I went back out there twice on their dollar.
That's dope.
They paid, you know what I'm saying? So so that one opportunity did what I had to do, and that got me to go there again, and they paid for everything, and you know what I'm saying, took care of everything.
You passed the test, brother.
Yeah. So that's definitely, but I don't want to sit here and single that one out, but I have so many, man.
Yeah.
I have so many, but that's really one. That's like a really, like, that was a very, like, maturing stage in my career.
So, vice versa, what was, you think, like, your worst moment?
Oof, the first time I was on stage. The first time I got on stage, because like I said, man, I didn't DJ in front of people. I kept my DJing very secretive. It was just something that I knew a few of my friends, and I mean, obviously my family, but like a handful of my cousins. There was 2 of my cousins that really supported me, but there was only a handful of people that really knew that like what I was doing. So for I think for like 3 years, I didn't tell anybody. And it was just me by myself. So I decided to, I thought I got some courage and signed up for a talent. It was like it was just like a showcase that was going on. And I was like, yo, this is my moment. I'm going to shine. Literally, never been in front of people. This thing fills up. There was like probably like 150 people, but maybe 200 people. It was in Bridgeport, actually, where I live now. But at the time, I'm from Stanford. And it was a school event. It was like a school event. So there was different schools from Stanford, from Norwalk, and from Bridgeport. And I mean, if you're not from Bridgeport, you know, Bridgeport teenagers aren't really too quiet. They're you know what I'm saying? They
little rowdy.
Little rowdy. They express their feelings. They're not afraid to express their feelings. So I got on there and literally I had a feeling that I never had felt before. Like my hands started shaking and like, not to sound corny or cheesy, but like that whole 8 Mile thing, like there was a knot in my stomach and I couldn't control it. And I was like, why is this? It was because I was nervous. So basically, but I went up there and I fumbled my whole 5 minutes. I got booed.
You let the spaghetti go, bro?
Bro, I fumbled, bro. Nothing came out right.
Yeah.
The whole little set that I had worked out, like, nothing came out right. It just like the needle was jumping. This is vinyl. So it's like the needle was jumping, and for some reason everything just, nothing came out right. Nothing was going right, and it was supposed to be like, in my mind I was like, this is the moment I'm gonna show everybody I could do tricks and all this shit, because I was doing tricks with my fucking stomach and behind my back and through my legs and fucking with my back and shit. So it's like, but nothing came out right, and so for 5 minutes I'm just there fumbling the whole time, man. And it was just boo, boo. I got called DJ No Clue.
Oh, shit.
And so, but that has to be, that was my first, like, introduction.
Oh, man.
That has to be my first introduction into, like, that was also an eye-opener. Like, okay, I got to start DJing in front of people now. I got to start getting comfortable in front of people. And that's what led me to becoming a DJ for a breakdance crew, and that whenever they would have sessions, I would take my equipment and just start getting comfortable. And then being in the club scene, being in the club scene, you get, every once in a while I still get nervous, but it's like, it just becomes a comfortability after a while. You know what I'm saying? But I have a list of moments in the club where shit has gone wrong also. He's been a part of some.
Yeah.
He's seen it.
Yo, I remember when we first started working together in 08, you weren't too big on the mic.
No.
You weren't too big on the mic.
No,
and
not at all.
I know sometimes, I remember Richie kind of getting at you sometimes for that. I remember, though, I think I started seeing you more on the mic when we were at Sin City on the Saturday side.
Yeah.
That's when you were really, I really saw you like flourish and doing
because I had to, because he put me to, around that time, I was talking a little bit more on the mic, and he was like, yo, control the mic at first, and then, he got there, he would do what he did. But yeah, man, I mean, I was very spoiled, like I said, because I had somebody like Richie. Like Richie, who was a promoter and a host. So I was very spoiled the first few years of my DJing, because I always had a host with me. So I didn't talk on the mic.
He's very good at what he does.
Exactly.
You know
So I was very spoiled in that sense, and so I didn't really need to talk on the mic. So my microphone experience was something also I had to learn on my own. You know what I'm saying? And that's still something I'm definitely more comfortable on the mic now. I'm actually really comfortable on the mic now, but it's still something that, like, it's still like a funny thing for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm just, as a regular person, like, I think DJ Santo, he said it the best, like DJs, we're naturally like introverts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're like, aside from we're in that booth, we're like one thing, and then when we're outside from that, that's not me, like the way I am on the mic and the shit that I talk and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
You get in your zone.
Yeah, so it's like it's just a weird thing. But yeah, man, the mic, that was a whole nother new learning experience, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to learn from not being comfortable to finding your voice and to knowing how to control your voice and all that stuff. And yeah, man.
Yeah, it was dope to see that transition because, like I said, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember that. You know what I'm saying? And even now, like, you know, I've seen you rock parties recently. You know, and when we ran into each other at clubs that I was working at or whatever, and it's definitely a whole. Flip.
Oh yeah, man.
It's a
Of
whole
course,
flip, man.
of course.
And yo, I don't want to get too much away before I forget. You mentioned DJ Santo, so. And peace to Santo, you know what I'm saying? The reason I want to bring this up though is you've been on Hot 93.7, right?
I've been on Hot 93.7, which is the main hip hop station over here in Connecticut. And yeah, I've been on Hot 93.7 due to him because he has a show called the International Sunday Show. Shout out to, got a nice little plug right there. But nah, yeah, he has a show on Sundays. It's called the International Sunday Show where he gets to play, like, his show is a very is a very spread variety of music other than the hip hop and R&B and reggae stuff that they usually do on the station.
Yeah.
So originally when they're looking for fill-ins, not to say that since Santos stays so updated with his music, some of the DJs that would come in weren't up to date as Santos was. And Santos kind of threw out a bone. There was a few names that got thrown out. There was some other people that filled in, but there was, he threw out my name. And he was like, yo, man, my boy Studders. He was like, yo, man, my boy Studders, he could cover it for me. And, I mean, for the most part, I get hit up. When he can't make it, I get hit up. So
that's dope,
that's
man.
Definitely
that's big, man. That's
yeah,
big.
man. It's definitely it's definitely cool to know that you're one of the go-tos. Not to say I'm the only one. I'm one of them, but
Yeah.
I'm, one of the go-tos when somebody like that can't make it to their show.
But that's not an easy task either, bro.
Exactly.
They don't just pick out anybody. Somebody that proved themselves, somebody that got what it takes. You know what I'm saying? Because that's go time.
Yeah, exactly. That's
You know
go time, man. And that was that was a whole nother experience. And yeah, man. And after the first one, Buck, shout out to Buck. He's the main guy over there. But yeah, he hit me up. He was like, yo, man, you did a good job. And so he was like, if we ever need you again, we'll call you. And I was like, okay. So, but that's kind of how that was his way of telling me, like,
Yeah.
It's you. Like,
You good.
Nah, but yeah, man, shout out to Santo, man. He always puts, he always throws my name out whenever he can. So yeah,
what's up,
man. Yeah, man.
That's always good to have. But that also comes with being a genuine person, and you know what I'm saying, being a good dude, man. Because you could be nasty at what you do if people ain't really feeling your vibe,
your energy,
they
man.
still
Of
won't
course.
throw you that bone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
So that's dope, man.
I'll say, man, I know a lot of great DJs out there, but their attitudes are horrible, and it prevents them from, you know what I'm saying? I'm never the same way. I'm not too shy to tell somebody that is either older than me or somebody that I look up to. The same way I'm not like too shy to tell them that they've inspired me. I'm not too shy to tell a DJ that's either younger than me or been in the game shorter than me to tell them that they're good. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, I'm very I lend my hand out to anybody. You know what I'm saying? And I'm the same way with, if you've been DJing for a week and if you've been DJing for 30 years, I'm the same way with you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's a fraternity of us. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what I mean by that is just that there's some DJs that would like look down on younger DJs or DJs that have been in the game for not too long because they feel like, oh, well, you got to pay your dues, which is fine, which is true, but I don't treat anybody different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I've noticed that with you and a lot of the other friend DJs that I have, that you guys you're like a collective. You work together, like y'all get up and have DJ sessions and y'all trade music. Man. And I think that's dope, man. That's dope.
Yeah, man.
Unity is dope.
Yeah, man. Definitely. I will say, man, the unity in Connecticut for the most part within the DJ community, we're all pretty much, we all know who everybody is. We all, whenever we see each other, is always love. But the little, I have a little circle. I have my own little circle. I have a few little circles, but I have my own little circle that we all stay in touch and we all make sure, we're always, we always try to get up. Well, we used to do a little bit more often, but yeah, man, get up, trade music. But always catching up with each other. Always, if one of us isn't working, we'll hit each other up. Yo, man, where you at tonight? Let me roll with you tonight. Or you'll roll with me to this spot. You know what I'm
That's dope,
saying?
and that's dope, man. Like, cause you don't see, sometimes you won't see shit like that. Everybody always wants to shine for them, especially when it comes to that, the nightlife, man. You know, people want to shine, man. People want to shine, and
Exactly.
So that's
bro.
dope. That's dope. But,
Yeah, man.
That's what's up. So I want to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, man.
We're still gonna
Yo,
keep it.
No. This is your show, bro.
We're gonna keep it music. But I just wanna.
Yeah, man. I feel like Dave over here is not.
I know. We're about to start interviewing this motherfucker because he's not speaking, man. What's up, Dave? Wake up.
know.
Man. What up?
No,
Levántate.
Yo, now what's your background? Now what's your like your ethnicity background? What are you?
Ethnicity?
The next.
Where you from, bro?
I'm from. I was born and raised in Bridgeport. My parents were born in Puerto Rico.
Oh, okay. You're Puerto
So,
Rican.
yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna ask you that earlier, like what national, you know?
And I'm Colombian.
Yeah, and I love everybody who knows me. I love my heritage.
Yeah.
I rep it more. You know, they say I'm American, but
Wepa!
I rock it, bro. And when
Yeah.
he asked me about reggaeton, I had CDs from back then in the
Yeah,
day
man.
to now. So I had all the tribal clan. I know anybody. I know
Yeah.
a lot of them through their first name.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah. Oh,
saying?
that's what's up.
So,
That's what's up.
I don't know if you worked with him when he did Arcangel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you about that because that's my favorite.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. Arcangel is a cool dude, man. I gotta work with Arcangel prior to that, and I remember, yeah, man. Arcangel's like I like that dude's an official dude.
Yeah.
That dude is like, he might be little, but that dude,
He's powerful.
bro, that dude is no joke, man. That, like, I don't know, maybe it's a little man complex or whatever, but that dude, don't get in that guy's way, man, because he will run you over. Nah, man, but Arcangel's a cool dude, man. It was dope, man. Arcangel is definitely one of the, I feel that one of the guy, well, you know, when he first came out, that he just from when he first came out, he hit right away. And now, I mean, now I consider him now a pioneer because he's already been in the game for like a good
absolutely.
at least 15 years now.
He's doing his thing. He has his own label. He
Yeah.
has actually a couple labels, and he's signing people.
Yeah,
He's
man,
signing
and
people.
he's still banging out. You know, he still maintains in the people's ear and in the people's eyes. So yeah, man, shout out to Arcangel, man. But yeah, man, Arcangel puts on a good show. De La Ghetto, I love De La Ghetto.
Yeah.
They put on a good, like, I mentioned De La Ghetto because they originally came out together. But yeah, man, like those guys, they're all really fun to watch live, man, because they put on good shows, man, to be really honest, man. I mean, you've seen it, like, there is something about the reggaetoneros, like when they perform, like they include the DJ a lot, and the DJ's doing a lot, and they're throwing different beats on, and they do a lot of, you know what I'm saying, dropping the beat out, and that's something that they take that originally from how, like, you know, a hip hop artist should do. You know what I'm saying? Because there are some hip hop artists that are very lazy when they perform.
Oh yeah.
But you know, you see like an artist like KRS that has, you know, all that influence. But I'm just saying, you could tell that influence, that stage presence comes from the hip hop side. You know what I'm saying? And from like the reggae roots and all that stuff. Like reggaetoneros have really good stage presence for their live shows, which I love.
Yeah, it was always dope, man. It was always dope to see those shows, man. Actually, almost every show I've done was with Studders. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like all
Yeah,
the
'cause
reggaeton shows, everything.
That was our residency, and Richie would bring down at least, like, it was if not once a month, once every 2 months or something like that. So there was always something going on.
That was dope. I mean, and I mean, I've done other artists too,
Yeah,
in
of
other
course.
places. I forget the places' names, you know, where at, but there was other places where I've done and worked at or whatever, and those are artists, but definitely most of them was when I started with you guys, man. So another question I wanted to ask you, basically, what do you feel about some of this new music that's out there, man? And I need an unbiased answer, not just because I know you play some of this shit, and I think it's
I don't have to, but
I think some of it's
I got you.
garbage.
No, I do too.
No, I know. But what do you feel about some of this shit? And I know you said you have to, and I get that.
Yeah. I'll tell you right now. Look, I will say it's not my cup of tea on my personal taste. But I do see where I see why it's just it's just, I would say it's just generational. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This is the type of quote unquote rap, if you want to call it, that's popular. So I mean, the same way I would say the same way the classic '90s sound, you know, the same way that was the sound for a long time. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm pretty sure Rosenberg. I don't know. Did you see the tweet he sent out the other day?
Nah, which one?
Rosenberg. He sent out a tweet saying the same.
Not the one on Chuck D.
No. Rosenberg from Hot 97. He sent out a tweet the other day saying, and I don't want to. This isn't line for line, but basically saying like, ODB wasn't. People that were fans of, like, for the Curtis Blow era, people weren't fans of ODB. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it comes full circle. So I look, me as a DJ, since I do a lot of, I do clubs. I don't, I do clubs where the age ranges are all over the place. So it's like, yeah, you got to play, you know, you have to play the songs. I will say when you're in the moment, though, some of them are they catch on to you. Even if you don't like, even if it's not my personal taste, you might see me, you know, in a club like this, you know, just because in the moment it gets to you. But it's not something that me personally, and I think a lot of DJs out there, it's just something that's like, we got to play it. That's the flavors that are going on right now, and you just gotta roll with it. But it's
I can see that, man. I mean, but I also think that's one of the reasons where the culture, and I'm talking about hip hop now.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons that it's kind of gone down that way, because I think more DJs should have stood up for not only DJs, man, but the pioneers. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, you got a lot of people that talk now, and I'm real big on, you know, I talk a lot of shit about that, like this music out now. But I feel that when it first started happening, they started trying to push the commercial pop shit and all that. I feel the pioneers really should have stepped in then, not now. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel if they would have stepped in then, a lot of this shit that's out now wouldn't be here too much. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you always got the little bullshit here and there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you to a point, and this is why. Because hip hop evolved around everybody. When it comes to the culture, like, it just kept evolving around everybody. Now, what I mean by that is just like, this would have happened no matter who would have said what or whatever.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man, because you know why? Because I feel, you know how people say, oh, if Biggie and Tupac were still around, hip-hop would be different. Do you feel that way?
I mean, to a certain extent, yeah. I mean,
you do really think, because, okay, but why those two? So,
well, not just them, though. Pun, too, you know, people like that.
Oh, no, but what I'm saying is, like, if it evolved around all the other pioneers, why wouldn't it evolve around them? I mean, they weren't. I love them. Don't get me wrong. I'm a huge fan of both of them, and obviously I'm more of a Biggie guy, and I just think we hold on to that so much because that was you know, since it is, you know, the golden era of hip hop, we hold on to it so much that we're like, oh, shit would be different if, you know what I'm saying? But I just think that hip hop just evolved. It would have evolved regardless. Not to say that it's at. I mean,
did it evolve though, or did it devolve? You know what I'm saying?
Okay. What I mean that it would have changed. You know what I'm saying? But what I mean, it would have changed regardless. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think. But I do think that it was in the power of the I do think that the whole payola shit and the shit that was going on radio years back could have prevented some of it.
And again,
And there was a lot of DJs that made the mistake of not reminding people like, yo, this. There was also, you know, there's a lot of DJs that should have played a bigger part, even in New York.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna mention any names, but there's a lot of DJs on the radio where when you have a platform as big as, let's just say, a Hot 97, and you're quote unquote #1 hip hop station, but it's like, all right, so put everything out, not just what you're getting paid to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what a lot of these radio stations do.
Well, exactly. But like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, put everything out.
Yeah.
There should be no reason why you can't put out what Mos Def is doing at the same time when you put out what Puff Daddy's doing. And I'm just using those as an example.
Yeah.
And I'm just using those as an example. So
Yeah, like a different show or something.
no, well, no, but like, you know, like, but even keep it on the primetime stuff. To have that balance,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's like, cause I just use Mos Def as an example, just as like a real like underground artist. It's like, I feel that hip hop shouldn't have like underground. I think it should just be hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, and to go back a little bit to your question, how when you asked me about Pac and Big, like if they were around, if I really thought,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, 'cause
it
I've
would
always-
be,
I've
it would be
always
different.
wanted
I do because you know, I mean, especially at that Big and Pac were, you know, considered like the kings of their shit, their side, whatever. East Coast, West Coast,
Of course, especially at that time, they were the ones ringing.
And you got to remember, man. I don't know if you remember, but I'm pretty sure you do that. If you were an artist and you were whack and you were spitting some whack shit, yo, you got kicked out the game. Motherfuckers clowned you. You wouldn't even want to touch
fine.
the mic. Now it's accepted.
Okay, now it's acceptable. What I'm saying, even at that time, okay, well, you just said that if you were whack, but there was other artists that were able to tell you were whack, and it still went over them. Like what I'm saying, my point is that Biggie and Pac weren't the only pioneers.
No, absolutely not.
You know, it changed around meth. It changed around the Wu-Tang. It changed around Onyx. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is that they weren't, you know, like.
And I know what you're saying, but there was still, to a degree, I feel there was, you know, because there's the 4 elements. That's how, you know, when hip hop started with, you know, Grandmaster Caz, if we go all the way back, and then it went down to Rakim and Big Daddy Kane. And I know I'm missing some people in between, but I'm just an example. But that people followed. A lot of the artists still had respect.
For their
you know, the people that came before them. Now,
there's
no respect.
But you can't there is no respect, but you can't expect a kid that was born in the year 2000 to appreciate 20 years before, or like even 15 years before that.
I can though. See, this is me on my hip hop shit.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, but my whole thing is like, if you're gonna come in a game and you're gonna claim a name, hip hop or something, you can't just come in somebody's house and make your own rules. Bro.
I know.
You can't. It's like, you know, this is the example I give people all the time. Like you can't just walk up in somebody's house, right, that you don't know, snatch the remote out of their hand, change the channel, sit on their couch, and put your muddy ass feet on their coffee table and say you run shit now. You're gonna get fucked up. You know what I mean? Or you're gonna get told where to go. So that, to me, that's what happened. That's what's going on. Like a lot of these newcomers, kids or adults, because some of these clowns are adults too. Yo, you're coming in and you're not respecting the pioneers. You don't know the history. You don't know the culture. You don't know who came before you. You don't know the struggles and strength it took to get there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where hip hop heads are like, yo, nah, like fuck that shit, man. Like, give me 1 second.
No.
So, like that's how I look at it. It's like, yo, you can't just come up in here and do that. That's why I tell people, you know what? These motherfuckers should have their own genre. You know what I'm saying? Call yourself hip hop with a P, hip hop, or call yourself a whole other shit, because hip hop had the guidelines, hip hop had the culture, hip hop had the 4 elements. Some even say the 5 elements, which is the history. And if you're not following that, man, you're really disrespecting the people who still are around that live that real hip hop shit and still push it. And now you're coming in on that bullshit, like that's a real disrespect. You know
No,
what
no,
I'm
no,
saying?
no.
And that's where
I
we
agree
lose.
with you.
No, I know you do. I know where your heart is in that, but I'm just speaking out, you know, in general for the audience out there, our Interwebliens and the people that listen. Like, to me, like that's where the disconnect is. Like, you can't just walk up in somebody's house and snatch that remote, man. There's rules, and even though it did change a little bit when, you know, like from you know what I'm saying, the Furious Five and you know, Melly Mel and all that, from, like, again, Kane and Master Ace down.
It just
to
kept evolving.
Nas. It did, but when we were at that age, there was still guidelines. These dudes was following guidelines. They showed respect
and
all
art,
that.
and also, and other artists at that time would co-sign
Exactly.
other artists. They'd be like, "Yo, no, they're official."
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
But now you got these young kids coming in here. They talk shit. You know, there's no respect for the elders.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, whatsoever. There is few, but
there's some.
But there's no respect because it's been commercialized so much by corporate America. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that was, and also,
that's a big part of where it fucked up.
Exactly,
you know
that was also a big factor. Also, you gotta,
motherfuckers took the dollar instead of keeping the morality and the essence of everything.
Yeah,
and,
of course.
And you know, it gets even deeper than that.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to ask you a little bit how you felt about that, because you know, when I'm in the club, man, and some of these motherfuckers are playing these songs, I know that they have a job to do, but then in my heart, deep down, I'm like, yo, yeah, some of y'all motherfuckers are part of the problem. But you know, it ain't like that. But I get it. But still, I still get the
I will say,
realness
look,
about it.
On the DJ side, I will say, I don't like to point fingers. I don't want to point fingers or anything, but I will say, no.
This show is an open show.
No. I'm just saying, thinking about it, I think radio DJs had more to play than what a DJ at a club does.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, they have more to play in that. In that part. Yeah. Because people go to the club and they want to hear what they hear on the radio.
No, absolutely, 100%.
So it's like, we have to, no matter what, like, if I DJ'd a party to my taste of music, not to say people would, but they'd be like, what the fuck? Because it'll be all over the place. You know, like, if I threw a DJ STUDDERZ party and it was like, okay, I'm going to play what I want to play, then I'm not saying everybody would hate it, but there'd be like, all right, well, I can't really party to this. But I'm like, well, then this is what I like. But what I'm saying, so I think in that whole mix, I think radio DJs who had an opportunity to really make a difference didn't, and then that's where it's very hard for a club, the DJ in the club, to be like, I'm gonna play some crazy hip hop shit that nobody knows, because then you're gonna fucking fuck up the vibe of the club. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
no, I get it, man. I get it. It's just, man.
Yeah, no, I know. It still sucks,
bro. I'm a big hip hop head, and I know the culture. I've studied it because I've loved it so much. Like, I didn't start listening to hip hop. The first hip hop artist I really paid attention to, I was in 4th grade, and I remember it was Hammer and Vanilla Ice. Yeah. And you know, it was like whatever, like I like the Ice Baby shit. I didn't know the culture, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I mean, remember Big Daddy Kane being out after I started studying at that time?
Yeah, exactly.
Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, but I didn't really hear, you know, you heard the commercial shit.
You go back and you realize,
as I got older, I started realizing what's what, really listening to shit and people's albums, and then you start doing the history and all that, and you really learn what's going on. So, you know, like, and that's what I'm saying. People that bleed this shit, people that came from it, you know, started it, like, a lot of that shit is excuses, man.
Because what sucks is you have a lot of the other people famous and rich off a culture that was built from the ground, and those guys, the guys who build the culture, are struggling. Yeah. That's what's sad. And I don't want to, and I don't like to compare, but there is that big point that, you know, like, the rock stars, man, they get, like, the pioneers are still caking, and they still get appreciated, and they're and the guys who they influence take them on the road, and
that's another thing too. Not to cut you off, like, I don't know why these hip hop artists don't do that. Take cats on the road, or even make some songs. Make a song every once in a blue with one of these pioneers. You know, help them eat a little bit, because a lot of these hip hop pioneers, bro,
bad.
They're doing bad. You know
Bad,
what I'm saying?
man.
Not
And
all of them, but
no, and not all of them. But some of the ones that
it's
were like
terrible, man.
literally created this thing, some of them are just they're and not to say the big famous people aren't regular people, but the people that created this shit, they're real regular people. And if you see them, you wouldn't think they were part of this big movement that we all love. You know what I'm saying? At least help create it. You know what I'm saying? So that's it's a sad thing to see when you meet some of those pioneers and you're like, yo, and you say, yo, I'm doing better than this guy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's
man.
crazy, man.
It's
And when
crazy.
you think in your head, like, they should be on another level.
It's crazy. Hip hop has been the most pimped out
Culture.
music culture.
Yeah, definitely.
In the history, I think,
Because,
man.
man, just any, I don't want to say everything because, I mean, there's probably other music cultures that's gotten pimped out.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, hip hop is one of the ones that, I mean, even the reggae guys, like real roots reggae, they always give it up to the pioneers. The rock, always give it up to pioneers.
It's that respect.
Even if you're in the house culture gives it up to the pioneer DJs, and they put them up on a pedestal.
Even in the Spanish, the salsa, the bachata, all that, like you
Exactly.
always hear them,
Always
or
collaborating.
even doing songs, collaborating, shouting them out.
Shouting them out.
Hip hop is the only one.
And then it is, man. It is. Because you know why also? Hip hop it's a young man's game. It's been a young man's game even when it started. It's always been about what's going on at that moment. Because even at the moment when it was KRS, when he was popping, what was going on at that moment. He dressed at the moment, and Onyx, that was going on at that moment. But if you look at them, they were fucking 17, 18 at the time. Hip hop is not an old man's.
Yeah, it was, and that's part of the problem. It was since it was so young, it's like hip hop needed a father figure to kind of lead them in the right direction.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
there was nothing.
And
and
I get that, I understand it.
But there's so many variables to it that, like, there's so much stuff that happened behind the scenes that it's just
I feel like drugs is what caused the conflict in a lot of the things, because it's like you said, young people. So if a young person comes out rapping about lean, you got a lot of young motherfuckers doing lean, and it messes with your mind, and that's why a lot of stuff happens. Like,
but that's
that definitely has something. It's in there, but I think we were talking more like industry.
But I mean, to his point, I don't want to cut you off, but even to his point, I mean, even even in the hip hop that we might they were talking about smoking weed a lot.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So I drugs has something to do with it. I mean, I guess
smoking, gang culture,
culture. So
killing niggas. We didn't end up doing that shit.
Yeah, but it's still
a little weed.
It's still like I think it's a very like what that's what's going on in the moment. I think is what's going on in the moment, and then a few years down the line, it's gonna be something else that all the kids are doing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's gonna be rapped about on the songs. I don't want to cut you off, but there is a question I have for you, because I think you're a very prime example of not letting. Because I saw a video on IG the other day that kind of annoyed me, and it was this guy. It was just like in the section where like it shows you videos that you might like. Yeah. So that section. So it was a guy dressed. He was dressed like Method Man, basically. He had like the car canot, like vest, and he had like a Scully out, like it just. And he was like, "Yo, what happened to the real hip hop?" And da. It's like, and I think you're a prime example of real, quote unquote, real hip hop is out there. I don't like when people complain about it's like it's out there, bro. You just gotta look for it and you'll find it.
You gotta dig.
You gotta just look for it. Like, and I think you're a prime example of that, because you did that. You weren't content what you were getting on the radio. You weren't. I mean, obviously, I don't think you've talked about that on your show yet. But I'm just spinning out because I know you. But I'm saying, like, you went out and you said, all right, I'm gonna look for something different, and you went out and found a real something that spoke to you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like when people complain about that there's no real hip hop out there no more. It's like, if you're saying, yes, if you want to say, yo, I love the 90s sound and that's what I loved, then say that. But don't say there's no more real hip hop, because there's a lot.
There's thousands and
there's thousands, but I think people aren't looking for it.
And females out there.
And I just think people aren't looking for it. And even if they did find it, I wouldn't even think they would like it.
And it's crazy to
because
me
it's not what they're looking for. They want a 36 chambers, but it's like, you're not gonna find that in 2018. You're gonna find something. You're gonna find something real hip hop to what is in 2018. Yeah, you can't look for a 94.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised. You'd find some that sound like that.
Sound,
but I mean,
just in retrospect, thing, it's like, yeah, it's just
still raw and
dope,
but
it's still raw. It's still it's its own thing. I think I just get to know when people say there's no real hip hop out there, and when it's like there is, you just got to look for it. And even if you found it, I don't even think you would like it, because it's not what you consider real hip hop. You know what I'm saying? You know, but like, I think you're a prime example of that, because you did, and you found a whole new world that you're into. And the artists that are speaking the truth and that are making great hip hop the way it should be, you know, the way it should sound. You know what I'm saying? So that was just like, I said it was a question, but it wasn't really.
Nah, it's all right.
But
I know.
But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I meant to say, like, do you, like, there is real hip hop out there?
Yeah, absolutely.
You just gotta look for it.
Absolutely. There's plenty of hip hop, and you know, thanks to the internet, it is a little bit easier these days to find it, man. And that's what I did. I just started digging. I remember the MySpace days, man. Just going through the MySpace pages, and it's crazy, because I connected with a few artists that I'm still in contact with, and they were doing little things back then, and they're doing some great things now.
That's dope.
But it's definitely out there, man. You just gotta look, you gotta dig, you gotta give it a chance. You know, the industry is only feeding you one type of thing, man.
Exactly.
It's like going to a restaurant, man. Are you gonna keep going to the restaurant and eating the same thing over and over? You're gonna get tired of it. It's gonna, you know, you go out there and try something different. You know what I'm saying? Mess with your taste buds. You know what I'm saying? And
definitely.
Just
that's a great analogy. I love that.
Do your thing, man. It's beautiful to have the internet and just search, man. There's a lot of beautiful music, man.
Yeah,
you know, hip hop touches you, man. Hip hop. It speaks to you. It's a therapy. It you know, it's just a powerful tool, man. And you know, I think actually the people who kind of helped bash it into the ground kind of knew that too, and that's why they went that route. Because if you remember, you know, you have the Public Enemies and you had the KRS-Ones talking about black power and black and brown people and politics and rising up and fight the power. They ain't want that, bro. I'll tell you that right now. But I don't want to, you know, we'll go into another hour if we start talking about that. But nah, man. I think this was a great show.
Definitely, man.
And thank you for coming up, man.
Thank you for having me, man.
Like it was definitely insightful, and I've you know, wanted to do this for a while. I was like, yo, when I get the show going, I'm gonna definitely have Studders come up.
Man. And I appreciate it, bro.
So just real quick, let the people know what you're doing now, where they could catch you on the weekends, and you know, just a little bit, just so you know, on our way out.
All right, so this will be released on Wednesday. So this is gonna be if you are listening, in between when this gets released and that time, on Friday I will be at a spot called Casa Taina in Waterbury, and on Saturday I will be at a spot in Hartford called Room Bar. And that's really what I got going on for this coming up weekend. I got a lot of things going on in April. I'm working on my April calendar and on my May calendar right now. And but I mean, aside from that, at DJ STUDDERZ CT, so you can always stay updated, basically. And that's basically it.
Tell me your podcast again, bro.
Yes, at TSD_podcast, and that's the Spinach Digest podcast. I'm actually going to be today, when this episode gets, like, I record on Wednesdays and it releases on Friday. So So I do it every other week right now for the time being. But yeah, so there'll be a new episode. But if you check out, whenever you listen to this, if after you're done with this show, go check out
them out.
Go check it out and see if it's something that floats your boat. But other than that, man, thank you for having me, bro.
Nah, definitely, bro, definitely.
Actually, thank both of you guys for having me. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Actually, Dave, any last words for Studders or anything you want to say?
It was a real honor and pleasure to get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, man.
We met a couple of times, but I actually always wanted to ask you certain of the questions today. It's just you guys are always busy, when we're on our personal time. So
yeah,
it was
man,
definitely a pleasure and an honor.
Nah, man, pleasure's all mine, bro. Trust me.
Cool, man. So again, Studders, thank you, man. Thank you.
No doubt.
And I'm sure we'll have you up here again.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? This is just the beginning, man.
Exactly, bro. We're podcast buddies now.
Yeah, podcast buddies.
Exactly.
Chale.
Yeah, HAGALE.
So
I was gonna say but yo, man, I'm very. I said it at the top of the show, but I'm very proud of you also doing this, because if there's anybody that should have a podcast, it's you. It's you. Just because of all your I don't want to say crazy, but I'm saying, like, you're just you're somebody that always spoken, you've always, since I met you, you've been the same way. Mm-hmm. It's not like this is like a persona. You try, like, you always spoke in your mind. This is like, so I was like, if there's anybody that should have a podcast, it should be you.
Appreciate it, bro.
So definitely, man, congrats on this podcast, and I can't wait for both of us to grow in the podcast world together, man. I'm glad to have I'm glad to have somebody doing going through this with me. So it's definitely something dope, man. And congrats on the show, bro. Backyard Mecca show, people. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Also, like, that's the most important thing for all the listeners. Not even for my show, just for anything, for this show. Tell a friend. That's it. Mm-hmm. Spread the word. Spread the word.
Yep. Please, man. Please. It helps us out a lot, man. If you repost a link, comment on one of the links, hit a like, or, subscribe, like that.
Mm-hmm.
That helps these type of venues and avenues.
It's the only way it's going to grow.
Yeah, and get us out there. But again, people, we're coming to another finale of another show. I want to thank you all for stepping up again, stepping out with us, listening. And once again, real quick, I just want to shout out our social media. You can check out the show on backyardmeccashow.com, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, Backyard Mecca. Find us on SoundCloud, find us on iTunes, find us on Podomatic, and find us on what's the other one? YouTube. We have a YouTube channel now where we put all the shows live. We're doing video as well, because we're trying to use every avenue we could use. So definitely look at that, man. And just tune in, man. Tune in. And I'm very excited. Next week, we have a dope show lined up. We actually have the Golden Hill Paugussa Indian Reservation, Native American Reservation from out here in Connecticut, coming up to talk to us. That's going to be a very, very great, deep, dope show. So please join us for that one. And again, just follow, like, share,
subscribe,
comment, subscribe.
There we go.
And come back. We appreciate y'all. Peace.
Interwebliens.